right? We got this huge cyber challenge. I mean, this is not easy. Does anyone think this is easy? Well, it's maybe easy to hack into things. Does anyone think it's easy to do this security? Okay, right? It's tough. It's really tough. So how are we going to do it? Well, the only thing I know is to refer back to Bill Sharp's words, all of us are smarter than any of us. So I think we've got to figure out how we're going to collaborate on our efforts. We have to figure out how we collaborate in evolving the system, in changing the rules, in changing our practices, in inoculating the system, and all the many different strategies, but we've really got to figure out how to work together better. Now, at the highest level, I think there's really a couple simple questions we want to ask ourselves. And that is, where do we want to go with the system? Okay? We know we're trying to fight security breaches and problems today. I mean, where do we want this system to be in 20 years? What do we want it to look like? What do we want society to look like? That's being glued together or linked together inextricably, incredibly, in complex fashions in a web with this technology. Where do we want to go? And what's the end state that we see? And we need to have that discussion. We need to think about those issues, because if we don't define the end state, where are we going to go? If we don't define the end state, we're going to keep evolving or twittering or moving and wiggling, going in different directions. But I think we do want to think as a society, globally, as well as nationally, where we want to go with this system. There's only one problem, I would argue. We don't know the rules. We do not know the rules. I think we're a lot like the alchemists that were melting metals over fires and mixing and creating alloys and trying to figure out which ones were strong, but they didn't have the elemental table of chemistry. So they couldn't engineer it. They couldn't really understand it. They could observe and they could react. I would argue that we have this problem in cyber. Let's step into some of those problems and the repercussions. To highlight the challenges that we face and how we don't know all the rules, this is a basketball scoreboard. It kind of looks like a high-scoring game, right? It's not over yet, and it's 113 to 99. Looks like a high-scoring game, but if this were cyber, what would the score be? I would argue the score would be 113 million to 99 million. Why? Because offense is so much easier than defense. So much easier than defense. And that's a fundamental challenge that we face.